I'll go live. Hold on. I'm going live. Right. Good evening.
I would have liked the live.
You what?
I would have liked the live signal so I can add it to people from content.
Yeah. Okay. Look, Chris. 1 sec. We're live. Yeah. Okay. This is a Billy bonus edition. It may not be terribly long tonight, but this is May Day, and all sorts of stuff to talk about. So I thought let's have a bit of a late night discussion and get a bit of feedback and take it from there. So yeah, I guess I should do this.
Oh,
and then probably this. Here we go. Here we go. Alrighty. Alrighty. Ooh. Yeah. Wait. Oh. Billy bonus edition. My wife doesn't know I'm doing this. She's in the other room. We got Baksa. Yeah, we got Baksa. And we got Graeme Sutherland. Graeme Sutherland up in Scotland. God bless. This is the daily Brexit, but it's kind of the evening Brexit, and it's the slightly inebriated Brexit. I'm Olly Connelly. Hi. Chris, say hi.
Hi.
Chris? Oh, blimey. Is that Graeme?
Hello.
Graeme? Graeme?
Oh, it's Chris.
Chris. That's Chris. Okay. We're making progress.
Hello.
Is that Graeme? Graeme?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Graeme Sutherland. We got Graeme Sutherland.
Oh, wow. It's working.
Yeah. Wait.
Hello, you.
Oh, man.
It's Friday night. Anything goes, yeah. Anything goes. Except a bloody transition deal.
Anything.
Oh, man.
Oh, let's rant. Okay, I like the theme. Chris, Graeme, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Hello.
This is our third Billy bonus.
Hiya, Graeme. How you doing?
Not bad. You hearing a bit of an echo.
Oh, okay.
Oh. yes.
Oh, balls. I don't know what's going on there.
Have you got that?
Look.
Have you got it up with him tonight, or what?
Look, okay.
How you doing, Graeme?
Not bad. Yeah, all things considered.
Yeah, well, it's disappointing day today. Disappointing today.
Look, this is very, very off the seat of everybody's pants. Nobody expected this show, including me, until about 10 minutes ago. And
right.
I just thought it would be good fun to get a few folks about and have a chat about what has been a big day for the UK, a big day for Europe. And, well, okay, you tell me, Graeme, what do you think about that? What sort of big days have been for you?
Well, I got sent a clip through my group, the Real Worldwide Truth Movement, and it was a guy in Texas who did some filming last night, and it was basically a cry for help. He was saying that, there was like 1,000 people living where he was living in the woods. Most of the houses were still underwater. No one had come near them. No emergency services.
Where's this? Where?
Texas. And and
so this is off the back of Irma still.
Yep.
Okay.
And he said, "There's a woman lying in the grass over there, clutching her dead son." He said, "I went to Walmart and I got some stuff from Walmart and brought it down here for the people to."
Go on, Graeme. We got Graeme. Chris.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just a little bit busy, but I'm still here. Oh.
Right. No, Graeme, go on. You got cut off. You mentioned Walmart, and then you got cut off.
The guy got some supplies from Walmart and went down, and
I'm still here.
there's no one, you know, the million, raised millions, but none of it's getting there. They said they've seen nothing, and it's basically saying, I don't know why.
Who's been raising millions?
The disaster relief people.
People generally, right?
Yeah. You know, crisis adverts and whatnot. They've raised millions for, but it seems to be going to Florida rather than Texas. That's the deal. But anyway, it was really bleak. It was quite scary, you know. It's like this.
Hold on. What do you mean? It seems to. What do you mean? It seems to be going to Florida rather than Texas. I mean, we've had 2 hurricanes that have hit the U.S. For example, obviously Puerto Rico has been completely devastated this week. Various Caribbean islands have been over the course through Irma as well. What this last one was, I can't remember the names now. There's been about 4 since Irma, including this last, and now probably others brewing. I don't know what. It's kind of hurricane season, typhoon season as well.
Called Howard.
But right.
Yeah.
But what are you saying? What are you saying? But basically, that Irma, the devastation is still going on in Texas, and what people are more interested in Florida, or what are you saying? Graeme. This
Sorry,
is not a good
for some reason, it's at this end. My sound card keeps muting my mic randomly. I don't know why. So I've got to open my sound card controls, unmute myself.
We got Chris Ford here watching us. Hey, Chris. We got
hello, Chris.
Maureen
How are you
Meredith too. Maureen Meredith.
I think they both should get on the Skype and get on having a nice chat with us.
That's right. Yeah, Olly Connelly. One word. If you call that, patch you in, have a chat
on Skype.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly it. Yeah. Okay,
now,
Graeme.
there isn't much I
indeed.
can comment on these hurricanes because it came way past Tommen and it never passed us, so I didn't see it. So I have no comment.
The UK got a bit of tail end, didn't they? From no, seriously, I meant it. I read it on the front page of the Mail. Cornwall was going to be devastated.
Well, while they're getting their new passports.
Yeah, that's right. Whilst they're setting up their Bradbury Pound.
Yeah.
So, Graeme, are you there? What sort of connectivity have we got with Scotland tonight? Because I was really hoping to hear from you, sir. He's a geezer, is our Graeme Sutherland. He's got a talk show on truthcatradio.com, I think, something like that. And his show is superb. And he's good value. If you've listened to any of these Daily Brexits, the Billy Bonus ones, he's on them because he's like a bit of a mate, and I really like him, and he's really passionate. And Baksa,
he's also a very good speaker, not unlike me.
Well, thank you very much.
No, you are. Yeah.
He is there.
You've got gift of the gab.
Yeah. I like.
He's well researched too. He's well researched. Graeme, you are, because I mean, like, for example, Chris is pure politics. Me, I'm politics, but I am fascinated in esoterics as well, and kind of see some sort of a bonding between these two areas, if you like. You, Graeme, you take the esoteric and the geopolitical, and you kind of just completely run with it in a Piers kind of a way, actually.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unless you understand spiritual dynamics, you're only seeing part of the picture here.
Go on.
What picture is this?
It's essentially our world's biggest problems are essentially spiritual. We've got a Luciferic power at the helm, and they are literally.
Oh, you're breaking up so badly, Graeme. How can we sort out your audio? I know he's talking about Luciferian, kind of circles going on at the top here. This is some petty stuff. going on from May's speech.
Yeah.
Graeme, your audio is terrible. Shall I call you back? How are we going to do this?
What do I sound like?
You are breaking up, so we can only hear one syllable in 3.
Okay, is that any different? Just turn down my microphone boost.
It's slightly better, but it's still broken.
Still broken. I had problems yesterday with this. It's my sound card.
Your sound card?
Yeah.
Well, that wouldn't affect... Oh, yes, it would. Yes, it would.
It could do. Depends.
Would affect the microphone.
Well, it just keeps wanting to mute itself for some reason.
What a pain.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if you get yourself a couple of beers, you could slur a bit more, and then it wouldn't be so bad.
I'll tell you what, Graeme, why didn't you ever play with that for 10 minutes, and I'll have a chat with Chris, and I'll call you back, or you call me back in 10 minutes?
Okay, I'll do that, yeah.
And also, what you could do is you could try using the Skype call testing service. This sounds like an advert.
Will do. Yep, I will do for sure.
But, yeah, try that.
Yeah, I will do. I'll come back in 10 minutes.
All right, mate. Good man. Because I tell you what, he's fascinating, this chap. All right, good. Okay, Chris.
He certainly can tell us some stories.
Yeah, he can. And yeah. So, man, I mean, today, this woman.
On her deplorable bloody speech, yes. It's actually a full circle on getting us back into the EU. Without a doubt.
Bullshit, isn't it? It's total bullshit.
She's obviously forgot it was an excellent opportunity to remind the British that they've never been so comfortable in the EU. The EU was designed initially to keep France and Germany in a close embrace that won't go to war again.
Well, that's one theory, but there's all sorts of other...
Yeah, the European project of integration came later, and I think we were really just tagging on because of the recession in the 70s. And Mr. Heath obviously got us in there, apparently, like Graeme Moore was saying earlier on your show, illegally.
Well, put it this way, I asked John Rhys-Evans a couple of days ago on this show what he thought. I asked him, was Heath a traitor? Was he a traitor? And he said yes.
Oh, Rhys-Evans? Never.
Yes. He said Ted Heath was a traitor.
Oh, Ted Heath, yes. Yeah, I just said John Rhys-Evans cannot be a traitor. He wasn't even in politics in those days.
No, he wasn't involved in 72.
No. Yeah, but I think a lot left because the reason for me leaving the
This is kind of almost going mainstream now. When you have a potential party leader, when you have a candidate for a party leader of an important party in the UK, the party that forced the referendum saying that a former prime minister was a traitor for doing what he did and for involving us in the way that he did, which has led us into the situation in which we are. That is a pretty damn big story, you know. That's a pretty big story.
I mean, I did mention to you, Olly, that the government was actually funding the case against Heath for paedophilia and etc. He must have been a really bad prime minister. I don't remember him because I was only a kid. But I'm sure a lot of people will remember him. He must have been good with the speech on being able to convince people in doing things if he manages to get us into the EU and get away with all the paedophilia that has been charged with. Not charged with, sorry. That's been claimed against him.
Claimed against who? Sorry.
Edward Heath.
Right. Yeah, sure. Well, that cop, who was it leading that inquiry, he said he was, what was it, 110 or 120? He said it was over 100%. He said, I'm 110, 120% sure that Ted Heath was a paedophile. He said that
and then you get,
on telly.
Yes, he did.
And he made an appeal at the same time for witnesses to come forward, which is the most peculiar thing to do. And surreal when you consider that he was talking about a prime minister. Unbelievable.
It's taken over 40 years to get all the witnesses to come forward now.
You know what? We got a call. Finally, the show gets called in.
I have put you through to many people, so hopefully we can get some
We've got Beverley Taylor-King. Beverley Taylor-King with us on this show live now, who was on the very second show. When we did a nice bit of a chat about the Queen's speech. Beverley, how are you? It's been a long time.
I know. How are you? I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, good.
Hello, Mrs. Taylor-King. How are you doing?
I'm fine, darling, but this speaker's a bit loud and I don't know to turn it down.
Well, all right. We haven't got any feedback. How are you?
That's better. That's better.
Friday night.
Don't be so cheeky, you.
Look, we've had some comments too. I'll read some comments whilst Beverley, controls her giggling. And we've got David Clark.
That's better.
Kathleen, the Saudis are pulling the chameleon strings. Corinne, the man is watching. Liked. Chris Ford, whatever May said today, Barnier will only give hints, saying later it was something to enhance further discussion. 20,000, 20 billion is a deposit for the next year only.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's something I've been considering.
I'm just wondering whether Nigel Farage is going to get off his backside now and get started on coming back into politics. I think he's actually really is needed now. And this just could be the push over the edge that he does get off the seat and get back into the mainframe.
Well, he was pretty annoyed earlier, wasn't he?
Yes, I'm sure he is. Like
you
all
read
of
some of the stuff that he's been saying since then. He's already he's on Telegraph, got a piece in there. He's been on Sky News, I saw, and he said this is the betrayal. This is the great British betrayal. That's what Farage is already saying. And
it's a U-turn, the beginning of. Whether it's going to take 5 years or longer, it is the beginning of the U-turn. Especially when they are trying to come up with the excuse.
I just think she shouldn't be allowed to do
beginning of the U-turn. Hello, Squire. He's back. He's back. Hello, Graeme.
Hey, Graeme.
She shouldn't be allowed to do it, should she?
No, the only thing that can happen now is that the backbenchers stand up and actually oust her out. We need either a new leader or a new election. And if there is a new election, UKIP will gain tremendous seats, because this cannot carry on in this country, being ignored by politicians that have been put there to support us, to take advice from us, or whatever they should be doing for us, and not doing it.
If we have another election, those folks, those UKIP-leaning folks that voted for Labour, you must not do that again.
No. It was actually the UKIP voters actually voted Conservatives to keep the Labour out, on the pretense that Mrs May was going to do something about this EU negotiations.
It wasn't just surely
No,
not.
they didn't. No, they didn't, because Christopher, I think as well, some people who did vote UKIP felt they could not vote Conservative even though they were told to. So they still went back to Labour. That's why he did as well as he did. Plus, of course, as we know,
the only thing, the only reason why they went back to Labour was the younger ones were wanting this free tuition argument.
That's right, yes.
Or getting their money back they were promised. And that would have never happened. The same happened with the Liberal Democrats in 2010. They would never be able to afford to pay everybody back.
No. It's just vote catching propaganda, isn't it?
I had on Facebook a message once upon a time from a little Chinese lady. She said to me, "You know what, Chris? I can go to university in China and be turned down because I'm either not clever enough or there is something wrong with my marks. I can go to the UK, sign on, get in, get it half price, Why would I need to go to China to go to university? They're accepting any Tom, Dick and Harry in this country just to get the money, which is mostly sponsored by either the government or the Chinese to send their children to our universities. It's all wrong. It's just it's all back to front. It should be, going. Did you watch Question Time last night?
Yeah, I did.
What the fuck? That was.
Did you, Beverley?
We had people on there.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry, no, I didn't. I was working. It was late when I got in, so no.
Oh, it's not good enough.
Say again.
Bloody.
Say again.
Did you watch this week with Andrew Neil's gerbil and that bloke that never sued over Scallywag? Did you watch that?
Portello. Mr. Portello.
Yeah. Not that I'm saying anything about Michael Portello. Not that I'm suggesting that there's any chance whatsoever that allegations were ever made about him that he was a paedophile. Not that I am suggesting that at all. Nor that I'm suggesting that Andrew Neil is an appeaser of paedophiles. I'm not suggesting that at all, but you may very well think so.
Yes, but isn't he going to be... Isn't Andrew Neil going to be replaced, though, by some woman? I've read
That's on a Sunday show only.
Really?
All right, okay. Yeah,
they're just so dodgy, aren't they? Why didn't Portello, why didn't he sue over that Scallywag article?
Probably because he had no evidence against his Scallywag.
They called him an out and out. And they went for Lord McAlpine at the same time, and Derek Lord and a bunch of other folks. And all of these folks, none of them sued Scallywag.
They won't do, will they? They won't do, will they?
Curious. I've changed the subject. I mean, it is, this is the Billy Bonus edition. We've got Beverley Taylor-King here.
Billy Bonus edition. Get yourself a beer.
Yeah, it's a beer.
Yes,
it's a beer.
Right.
It's a relaxed edition, but it's a bit odd there. But anyway, I do watch this week. And to be honest with you, and this is actually, you know what? I like Michael Portello. I mean, as a presenter, I like him, and I love his train shows. But
yeah, the Great Train Journey is good. Yeah.
But those allegations that were in Scallywag, he never sued over them. And let's face it, there's a lot of weirdos in Westminster.
True.
You know what I mean?
True. There are. And there's probably lots of them that are involved in things that we would wish they weren't involved in, shall we say.
What did you think? What did you think today, Beverley? The speech?
I'm incensed.
Really?
Obviously. Yeah. Yes,
You are?
I think,
You're incensed?
I think it's... Yeah, absolutely. And I think people will now not allow it to carry on. There were just so many people that are just so angry, and something will have to be done because she cannot be allowed to get away.
Also depend on.
She can't be allowed to get away with it. Sorry, Christopher, go on.
No, but I think Graeme Moore was on earlier, and he was saying that there is a demonstration tomorrow with pots. Not tomorrow, on Monday at 10 o'clock in the morning.
That's right.
Outside
Graeme Moore was saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
With pots and pans and banging and clanging, and I think the more people that go, the more it may get recognised.
Yes.
If there's only half a dozen people there, it's just going to be frobbed off.
And
this is the problem. People who are on the Leaf side are elderly folk, like myself, or disabled, and cannot actually make it. And we need to get more people out on the street, banging and clanging these pots and pans to make some form of noise.
That's right.
And then they might stand up and say, "Oh, hold on, there's a lot of people here."
This is it. This is the problem. Because if they're not retired, they're working, and they're probably trying to pay their tax and all that. Or else, I mean, in my case, I feel frustrated.
Trying to pay the house, or trying to pay university bills.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's a...
But
however,
we do need to be more visual now, don't we?
Yeah. I listened to LBC today on the radio, and every call was a Romanian.
Really?
And I thought, where are these people contesting what Mrs. May has said today, instead of all these Remainers phoning in to say, complimenting her on trying to delay the EU negotiations and leaving? I thought, why are we listening to this rubbish? It's getting as bad as the BBC and their bias with the EU.
But that's a London station too. And it wasn't Farage's show, say, was it?
No, it wasn't Farage's. No, Farage would have been different. But
yeah.
However, he does also get a lot of Remainers on.
Yeah, sure, he does. It's a London show. LBC, London Broadcasting Company, or whatever it used to be originally.
Yeah.
Look, we got a few comments. Let me go through. Lisa.
Tell them to get the backside on this show.
Lisa, cool. Yeah?
Yeah, Elizabeth, come on.
Elizabeth Higgins.
Mrs. Hingis, give us a ring. Olly Connelly on Skype. You'll be right.
She's got my thing. I sorted out her Skype for her. Thanks. Christ, we need out, she goes. Good, excellent mastery of capital letters and all the rest of it as usual. David Clark, wake up, people. Sharia May is the greatest actress since Bette Davis on behalf of her Saudi masters.
Surprised David doesn't actually come on here and give us his opinion.
That's very nice. I've pinned that. I pinned that comment, David. Till he walks down the platform, says Chris Ford. I don't know. That was a reference from back there. Lisa, we outrage Mrs. May. Betrayed us all. Shocking. Delays. Borders wide open. She failed us all. Vote.
Yes,
leave. We need all out. Amen. Chris Ford, China's children are properly educated. China's children are properly educated. We must have made some reference. Didn't you go for a Chinese with your mum today, Chris?
I certainly did.
There you go. That's it. Well, China's children are properly educated, yeah? Okay.
They are even educated in this country, because I think they do a lot more studying after school than our own people do. When I go to the restaurant, you see the two kids that these Chinese family have. Mm-hmm. They're in their books, right?
Yeah, that's right.
They're busy at it.
Same with Asian kids generally. You know, I mean,
aren't Chinese Asian?
Yeah, no, okay, sorry. Okay. Generally speaking.
Get it right, the Pakistanis and the Indians. Yeah, okay.
I don't know. I guess I'm generalizing. Look, David Clark, personally, would never ever vote Lib Lab Con again. Voting tactically, very nearly melted UKIP down in the GE.
Nearly good lad.
You think there's a lot in that, Chris? That particular remark?
Yes, I do. I would never vote them, even though I was a Lib Dem, and I'm embarrassed to say I am. I would never vote for them again, or the Conservatives, and I've never voted Labour in my life. Don't see the point. Labour, whenever they've got in, have always let the country down. The Conservatives have to drag it back out with ridiculous cutbacks and everything. It's just always left bankrupt. It's okay to keep giving money away this time, the other, but never think about getting the money in.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Labour's just a joke, isn't it?
Has Graeme disappeared now?
Yeah,
Labour are a joke.
They are. I mean,
when you've got
but May, well, they're a joke because they provide no opposition, no tangible opposition in terms of Brexit. Apparently now, May today has taken the same line as Keir Starmer. What is Keir Starmer? He's the Labour Party's. What is his actual job? What's his title?
Isn't he the secretary? What's Boris Johnson's title?
Okay, so he's the shadow foreign secretary.
That's right. Yeah.
And he basically is saying he's been saying what May said today.
Don't you think Mrs. May's speech was written by Hammond? be perfectly honest with you, today it just sounded
Could have been. It could have been. It could have been.
You've got a phone call.
Yeah, but that's Lisa. Okay, I'm going to answer this because it won't cut you off. But this is on. No, because this is on Facebook. Lisa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look, why don't you call me on
Lizzie.
Skype? Why don't you call me on Skype?
How to?
Oh.
How are you doing, Lizzie? All right.
Doesn't matter.
Fine, for being
matter.
honest.
Good.
That's fine.
You know, I don't know how to do all this crap, and yet I'm banned, yeah?
You're there. God bless you.
Because I told the truth. I said that it's not migrants, it's mass invasion of people claiming bringing nothing to the UK, and I got 30 days in jail. Never been in jail in my life, by the way.
Oh,
Never
shame.
even drugs in my life. I had enough. But about today, it's shocking. The people have to come out. I wish I had the energy to lead you down to number 10. I wish I had the energy, because you're all sitting on a time bomb here. That is not Brexit. It's nothing like Brexit. That is the Remain has won today. You've just lost the plot.
Oh, whoa.
You're letting it happen.
Oh, that's very defeatist. Remain one
No,
today.
but she's right. She's right,
Here
Ollie.
we
She's
are,
right.
red alert, armed police on our streets, crime after crime, and we're sitting there. It's like we want it to happen. Unless you wake up, you're gone.
Well, I'm still awake. It's 11 o'clock.
You're going to expect every African in the EU to fly in here. You're going to have every migration. And what is coming with this new world order, we're in hell. She sold us out. I'm properly outraged. I saw nothing to vote leave. Anyway, I'll let you get on with your show, and thank you very much.
No. You can't go now.
Lizzie, go back on Skype.
You can't go.
I don't know how to go on Skype, Chris. You know,
You're fine.
my computer hardly works since the Facebook destroyed me.
Oh, shit.
I mean, it's no joke. Jail at my age. I've never been in jail in my bloody life.
It was only bloody Facebook, darling.
I'm
Yeah,
on
but 30
MeWe
days
now.
is 30
MeWe,
days.
Freedom of speech.
I've been there a few
Join
times.
MeWe, the White Dragons.
Yeah, but you did set up a new profile and get back on, Lisa. I mean,
Yeah,
I know what you're saying. Don't get me
nothing
wrong.
much out of it.
What do you mean?
Well, you
You're
don't
here.
talk to us, that's
We're
fine.
talking.
Yeah, I've got to start all over again. I could hardly get going on the last account.
Yeah, sure.
It's just a cripple, you know what I mean? I'm on MeWe now. So's
You're on
Caroline
what?
Donnelly. She's been kicked off for telling the truth.
Caroline, yeah.
Poor Caroline's
you know
been banned
Caroline.
on all her accounts.
I think Caroline's back on, actually.
I think she is now.
Yeah.
No, she's banned. She's again banned. I spoke to her on
God,
the
that
phone.
was
She's been kicked off all her accounts. Poor girl.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, you too, Lisa. You get in tussles, don't you? What are you saying?
No, I just say it as it is. If I can't say it as it is, then I'm a bloody liar. And I'm not going to be a liar for no bloody Facebook and whoever it is misses me another bloody day. I tell it as it is.
Well, I thought I did, but I don't get banned that often.
Well, maybe I shouldn't have said that they're not migrants, they're mass invasion. Well, that's what the UN said to those mass invasion of beggars and tramps and bloody what have you.
Oh.
They're all liars. Hello, please, can you help me? Yeah, DHSSS, that's what they asked me in London. I sent them to the local police station, I do. I had enough of them.
Oh, Lisa.
If you can't say what you want to say, and you're called the... How can I be a racist when my daughter's a mixed race? I don't understand that.
You can't,
Maybe
darling.
I need a pair of glasses.
It's difficult, eh?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just saying it. Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. That's all you hear. And Allah Akbar. Well, if I go to bloody Saudi Arabia tomorrow, national benefits, I'll be kicked right out.
Yeah, they
It's a
wouldn't
shocking
give you
thing.
much.
It's shocking. We are here to help migrants. We're not against migrants. Get that right. There's poor migrants in the world. There's plenty in USA right now who's homeless with the made today storms.
And the Caribbean. Yeah.
Storm Mary, still Stone Mary, Haley, Mary Jesus, Mother of God.
I'll tell you a nice story.
The dates, the times.
Lisa?
There's lots of migrants in USA at the moment.
Lisa.
Why not help some of them?
Lisa, I'll tell you a nice story. I saw
it's better to leave me alone tonight. I'm really vexed about Mrs. May.
Oi, hold on. I met some lovely folks last week from Puerto Rico and also from Mexico, 2 countries that have been devastated this week. Well, Mexico City.
People.
And I, you know what it's like when you meet people. We walked a long way last week, me and my missus, 140 miles through Galicia, and with loads of different people from all over the world. It was quite incredible, talking about all sorts of stuff and trying to convert people for Brexit. It was great. Anyway, and some of the folks I met were from Mexico, and lovely people. But you know what it's like when you kind of meet in this kind of situation. You don't know if people want to stay in touch, and you know, I mean, frankly, we did. I mean, I love these people. They're awesome, really beautiful. God, now I sound like Donald Trump. So anyway,
I like the Mexicans and the Puerto Ricans.
They were so cool.
A sweet crush on them.
And the Puerto Ricans as well. Yeah, they are. I learned that. People, I met quite a few this week. Very, very nice people. And so anyway, but then we had this. We'd left. We hadn't seen each other. We'd given them, me and my wife. We had our details. Hoped that they'd get in touch with us. Whatever. And then we heard about the earthquake in Mexico City, which actually, as terrible as the storms have been across the Caribbean and into Florida, into Texas, as Graeme was saying a bit earlier, terrible as they are, this thing that happened in Mexico City, there were about, 270 odd deaths or 220 or something immediately. I mean, it was really, it was awful. And so I was thinking about these folks in Puerto Rico. There was a Force 5 hurricane hit Puerto Rico the day after the Mexican earthquake. And I was thinking about both these folks, or the same day or whatever. And anyway, but atrocious week for these 2 particular countries. And we heard just today from the Mexicans who got in touch with us and said, yeah, we're fine. We're okay. All of our folks are fine. Their family in Mexico City, which is really, really nice to hear. And I just heard that earlier this evening. And they sent a picture, one of them, of their son's bar that he has in Mexico City. And this place is just completely devastated. Yeah, it's just an earthquake wreck. I mean, these people have been going, yes, quite close to home. Yeah. So, but anyway, I thought I would say that because maybe I don't know. It's a leveler. Oh, that was not supposed to be a sick pun.
That's what I mean, but, Ollie. I mean, look, Ollie. All this weather damage. Half of USA is burning, is set alight. The other half is swimming. The people in Maine, all over the world, is displaced. There is millions and millions of migrants. Why don't they help the true migrants that really need the help? Very soon, I think we'll be displaced our bloody self. You've got all these storms, all these dates, all these times, all these pinpoints. What about Agenda of 2030? Not ring a bell?
Yes, it does.
I think people have to wake up. Stop living in the bubble of the media, because the media is not saying it as it is. This is all money. It's all about displacing people. It's all about spoiling the crops, burning the land. People have to learn more and type in Agenda 2030 and Agenda 21 and get up to date with what's really going on. We all knew we weren't leaving the EU, so it shouldn't be a shock to me, because I knew this was the chessboard game from the very beginning.
Okay.
It's not a shock to me, but
Lisa?
I don't like being conned. And thank God I didn't vote Mrs. May, because I voted UKIP. I knew they wouldn't win. I knew Paul was under attack. My pen would not take Labour.
Lisa.
I am not a bloody traitor, and I would take 60 bands if they want to slap it on me.
Bless you. Oh, I'll tell you what. If I was 40 years older.
Olly.
Look, we've got a situation going on here. Now, Mr. Baksa, yeah, I've got to say, this show, Mr. Childs, this show is an armistice. This is a place of armistice. There is only friendship on this show, and we've got two people who've had a bit of a tiff this week, who I personally am very fond of, both of them. We've got Chris Baksa and Mark Childs both with me here, and so yeah, you better basically keep it together, boys.
No tiff from me, mate. No tiff from
Chris, how are you, man? How are you, Chris? For God's sake. Graeme, are you there? I'll get Scotland back in, yeah. I'll get. We had some more comments. Hold on a sec. I'm neglecting my duties. Let me just see what's going on. All right.
Hello.
Okay. David Clark. Lisa, great entertainment value, but with some great views. Yeah, she absolutely is. Carl Dean Pearson, how do I phone in? Good question, Carl. Now, excellent. I want to hear from Carl too. Carl, please. We spoke earlier around the back. That sounds awful. Anyway, yeah, Carl, what you need to do is to Skype Olly Connelly. So whatever it says down there, Olly Connelly, one word. Skype that number, and I'll patch you in. And anybody else who wants to call in, it's really cool. Let's just have a bit of fun. This is the Billy Bonus edition. Yeah. There's no standing on ceremony tonight. It's just relaxed. Yeah. We've got David Clark. The lady is correct, and Nigel needs to back in the fold. Needs to be back in the fold right away. Mark Charles, who is here now. Did anyone think any different? David Clark, wake up, people. Sharia law. Yeah, okay. I think I've covered the comments pretty much. Right. Okay. I'll shut up. Mark, what did you think of May's speech?
Well, it was what I think many of us thought was coming. However, there could be a different side of this, which people now.
Blimey. What was that?
I would never defend the Tories,
right?
But May could be being very cunning here. She could be trying to get us the sweetest deal possible, in the thought that the EU could be collapsing, with several other countries now showing interest if they want.
Hold on, go on. No. Explain that again. Sorry, I'm trying to work. Yeah. Go on. Explain that again, please.
This could be a very coy plan by May to get us to sweeten the deal, while she waits for the deformation of the EU, because there's several other countries now that have shown interest in leaving. And obviously,
on.
if this
that would be very optimistic.
It would, and I doubt that's the least likely option, but it's something that could be a possibility. But
it's a good thing. It's another thing. There are things like that we should consider that could be her intention. But the fact is that she was a Remainer.
She was a Remainer, and I don't trust her, and I've never trusted her. And I do think it's more likely that she will screw us over, which I've always said from day one.
So, in other words, there was a bit of wishful thinking going on there, Mark, yeah?
There was a bit of wishful thinking, a bit of hope for people still that it's not all doom and gloom, but I suspect she will set us down the river. She will leave in 2019, as she's already promised, and potentially we might see the return of David Cameron.
What? Cameron?
Yeah.
What, porcine Cameron?
Yeah.
What, is he gonna, he's gonna, what? No, come on, we're more likely to get Henry the cat.
No one likes Cameron.
Well, this is politics,
Graeme's duck.
And anything's possible.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, gee, can you believe it? I'll tell you what, Tony Blair, he'd be keen, wouldn't he? He'd come back. If we gave him half a chance, say, oh, Tony, we need you back. Oh, he'd come back, wouldn't he? He would.
I I think it was pretty clear what was going on as soon as David Cameron came back and started backing Theresa May, saying that we needed to give her the biggest mandate going into the general election for her to secure Brexit.
What do you think about Boris? You think he's a controlled opposition sort of shill?
Bungling idiot.
Oh, Graeme! Okay, look, Graeme. Okay, right. I've got a question for you. Okay, you answered it. You said a bungling idiot, didn't you? I'm getting feedback. I think he answered my question before I asked it.
Yeah, Boris Johnson.
I think we all know the answer, which is that we're being stitched up.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
I would say that's the most likely option.
Yeah. Yeah. To you, then. Beginning off. Now, I think a lot of people really were more interested in the money. And she had the chance today to draw a line in the sand when an empathetic no to any kind of payment would have been preferable to the majority of this people of this country.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Why do you think people are more interested in the money?
Because after spending £500 billion in the last 30, 40 years, don't you think we've paid an awful lot of money in for very little out? Why should we be paying?
Chris, hold on. Whoa. Hold on. Whoa. Let me ask you a question, because I'm not sure that I am fully understanding the situation from what you just said. Surely the thing that people should be worried about is the fact that this is a transition that will turn into basically never actually really leaving the EU and just continuing to pay
People do not want
anyway.
the transition. We do not want the transition. The Brexiteers do not want the transition. If people and companies cannot manage their companies within 2 years to get ready to come out of the EU, why would they need 4 or 5?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
How long did they get to prepare for the euro?
Not long, was it?
It was about, I don't know, 2 years? Something like that?
If that.
That's about right. If that. Yeah. No, I thought the whole point of Article 50 was that it was 2 years, and that kind of gives you time to put your affairs in, in order.
Get yourself ready. Get yourself ready.
So that is the transition.
I've managed many companies around the world, and I think what is the problem is that people don't realize what this single market business is all about. I have explained to you before, whereby we are forking in, I think it's around about 13, sometimes it's down to $1 billion a year to stay in a single market that we actually do not need to be in. I explained to you before, Olly, there are 3 companies.
Hold on. Whoa. Oh, serious squelch. Somebody's squelching.
Right.
Oh, my God.
You're echoing now,
Yeah. Wow. That was
there are 3 companies.
That was sci-fi. Chris.
Olly, there are 3 companies in the world that manufacture airbags for automobiles.
Right.
I told you and explained this to you before. One of them, my brother runs in South Africa, called Galvano.
Right.
Safety products. And the material is actually manufactured by only 3 companies in the world. Anybody can sew an airbag up. That is the easy part. But actually manufacturing the fabric itself is done by only 3 people in the whole of the world. And now the South Africans manage to sell to Germany, to every automobile company going, these airbags without any tariffs, without any hassles, they're not even in the EU. Now try to explain to me how a South African company can sell to the EU without having any tariffs, where we can't, because we have to fork in 13 billion a year so that we can actually sell to them. And I'll tell you one thing, Olly, 5 minutes down the road from where I live at the moment, Tomodon, on the way to Littleborough, is a company that used to manufacture airbags in this country. And they got closed down because they couldn't keep up with the exports coming from South Africa at half the price. And we are part of the EU.
Wow.
Now, the other thing I totally despondent about people saying we should stay in a single market and have a free open market globally to the world. No, we should not. No, forget it. We want tariffs. If we have a problem whereby there is too much steel coming into this country, we want tariffs so that the same price applies to them as it does to the local manufacturer. Yes? If there is too many carrots coming in from wherever they're coming from, and the price is half the price of the UK's carrots, we'll have a stockpile in England. We want tariffs so that the carrot that comes from the EU is the same price as ours.
Oh.
So this single market, free trade business is out of the window. Nobody wants it. Otherwise, we'll be putting plenty of people out of work before they come with Mr. Lib Dem leaders' comments saying that 3 million people will lose their jobs. Yes, of course they will. If we have free open market, of course they will.
Oh.
Graeme?
Yeah, hi.
Wouldn't it be a beautiful world if we could have no tariff at all?
No. Never.
No.
Where's our protectionism?
Hey?
Well, how are we going to be protected by imports coming in half the price of what the local factory down the road is making?
Okay. Graeme, what do you think about that?
Not a lot.
He's got a serious problem with his sound card tonight. That's a real pity.
Yeah.
That's a real pity.
Yeah.
Look, okay, let me put it to you another way, Chris. We've got so many problems with migration, of course. We've got cultural infiltration really going on off the back of Coudenhove, Kalergi. That's basically what we got. And looking at it on the other side of the coin, we've got folks that are being displaced from their own cultures because of our trade racket in the EU and other sort of similar kind of things, you know, and similar trade agreements. And also because of war profiteering, neither of which are issues or are things that the average Joe is going to gain any benefit from. Anyway, even if it was somehow morally okay to basically go and bomb a bunch of places and have an unfair, unlevel playing field in terms of trade. Chris, my feeling is that actually that is really what we need to be addressing on an international level, those two issues.
Right.
Rather than worry about...
Let me explain to you.
I hear what you say about competition, because I know you're an entrepreneur, and I know you would take advantage of the trade rules as best you can, because that's kind of like the capitalist spirit. But actually, really, to sort this out, this world, we do need a level trading level playing field, no?
No. For instance, I'm going to explain to you now where I can get a whole bag of carrots for 30p in South Africa. We start importing them into this country on a free trade deal. What's the poor guys down in Devon going to do where their carrots can't be sold because people are buying them at half price down the street? Where's the protectionism? We need a 50% tariff on them to make them the same price as the local carrot.
The local would buy the local carrot because it's not carrying a bunch of carbon tax on it.
Don't be silly. When you walk into a supermarket and you see two carrots next to each other, you say, oh, that's half price. I'm having them.
Yeah, but that's because of... Yeah, but would you do that if they were grown right and if you were educated enough to know that what you were buying was what you were buying? You know, it could be the cheaper ones because you don't want to go for...
Olly,
expensive ones, but you'd know the difference.
This country is taxed to the hilt, and people actually look at the prices when they go shopping.
Okay, so
doesn't matter
actually
what it
the
is.
problem is not the tariff, it's the tax.
The tax in this country is absolutely horrendous. It's horrendous.
So, okay, but that is something you need to kind of take out of the equation from the point of view of this argument, no?
Possibly, but even so, it's psychologically, people actually query the prices when they go in the shops. You see a jar of coffee that's £5, and you see a coffee right next to it that's a £3, which you buy, unless you like the actual particular flavour.
Right.
Don't you?
There is something else to think about here, and it's very likely that the EU will reject this deal anyway. And the reason being is because they're spending beyond their means. It is a failing organisation, and this is not enough for what they want. We have to remember the costs involved with the EU.
They need it.
They do. Obviously the Parliament only sits so many days a month, and when they're not sitting in that very expensive building, all the files are moved from that building back to another building, which costs an absolute absurd amount of money. And they're just totally spending beyond their means. That's why they can't produce any set of accounts. How can they produce a final bill for us when they haven't got any recorded accounts at all?
They can't.
I'm going to give you some comments on that note. And I know that was a very nice note where Mark and Chris actually almost shook hands on the radio.
Really? I have nothing against Mark Charles.
I've got Denise Hale here.
I have no issues with anybody.
Denise saying, brilliant radio. We'll have to sign off now.
Why?
Denise,
where's she going?
Lovely to see you. Have a good night. And Mark Charles, he said something I was going to ask him about. The last March of Silence in London tomorrow. Hold that thought, Mark. We'll come to that. I don't know what that is. No. And also says, David, you know how slimy David is? This is Davis, is it? David Cameron.
Oh, it's probably a deal. It was. Yeah. He probably done a deal with May, like Blair done a deal with Brown.
Yes. Yes, indeed. The EU are laughing at us, says Justine Gunn Jackson. And Denise Hale says, we don't want transitional agreements. And
just an excuse for an extension, that's all.
What this is, although it's very bad for Brexit and Britain at the moment, this is extremely good for UKIP. This is our chance now, under a new leader, for us to rebuild the party, revitalise, and we've got a bone that we need to pick up and run with it, because that's when UKIP operates best, when we've got a bone. And we've now got a big juicy bone to get our teeth back into.
It's a big bone, eh? Yeah. Chris?
Nigel Farage needs.
I agree. We're totally in agreement. I think the best policy would be for Nigel Farage to get off his backside and get back into UKIP's front office there. We need more media attention. We need him to start sprouting the sprout, and let's get on with it. The show needs to get on the road. It's okay, all those Remainers and Brexiteers having a lot to say, but we don't do very much. No one seems to get out and actually attack the government.
I would say at this moment I haven't got any inside information or anything like that, but I suspect if a certain candidate gets in who I'm supporting, we may see the return of Nigel Farage.
I doubt it very much.
It's curious, though, isn't it? The thing is that if he can't come in right now because it would undermine the next leader before the leader's even taken. Yeah,
we've only got another week to go before he can.
Sure,
he could be chairman.
He could be chairman. Would that not overshadow the Gov?
No, I don't think it would.
Well, it depends. It depends on whether or not they want to change the constitution, which will be open to votes, I think, once the new leader has got into power. If the new constitution is changed, which apparently is going to cost about £34,000 from us members,
That's right, for the referendum.
They have a choice of changing a few points in the Constitution where we get rid of the NEC and appoint directors and have a new chairman that is actually elected by the members. Then those will be put into the new Constitution. But it will cost us money that we don't have, of course.
No. Yes. So, and also, I don't know. I mean, I was just thinking about this earlier. This is a bit of an aside. I'm slight tangent, but again, with regard to the leaders, whoever wins, they're going to have a minority mandate because of the number of candidates in the only round, and it's going to belittle. It will belittle their position. It doesn't exactly hold
Will they
them up,
actually lose their deposits?
Pardon?
No, it's going to be split. It's going to be very, very split, and a lot of them will lose their deposits.
Is it actually technically possible for the winner to lose their deposit?
No, because the
spread.
deposit is based on the winner,
Right.
isn't it?
Okay,
It's a
okay,
percentage of what the winner gets.
Okay, fine.
You have
Right.
you have to get over 20% to get yours. So there's 4 candidates. So it's
Nonetheless, is this? I mean, I don't know. I mean, whoever wins,
4 candles.
Are they going to really have the mandate? Are they going to be taken seriously by the people that didn't vote for them? Because it hasn't gone down to 2 candidates in the final round.
Well, that is a good question. I think a lot of people will leave either way, whichever who wins. There will be leavers. There will also be
David Clark has actually chimed in here. Absolutely correct, Olly. It will be a small mandate, but was this done by design, i.e., too many candidates? This is actually what I've been wondering. It's almost as though UKIP has been infiltrated by the establishment. It just seems to me. Well, I'm just saying that logic tells me there are way too many candidates in a final round for such an important position in British politics.
That I would think that would be an NEC decision.
Sure.
In the sense that, they should have had a little bit more criteria as to who can stand and who can't stand. Because anybody could stand. They could have had 100 people standing, and there would have been no difference within any of them. Perfectly honest, it isn't now.
But they had a criteria because they changed the ruling from 28 days to 2 years, which obviously pushed me out. And the rules are there that you can only be leader or apply to be leader if you're not in breach of rules. There was the external vetting, which we were promised was going to be done, which was never done because apparently there wasn't enough time to do it. But if you think about the amount of money that's been paid in by each candidate, most vetting organisations could carry out the work that needs to be done within, days or a week at the latest. So again, that's absolute hogwash.
No, it's not hogwash. There are 30,000 people that's been members for over 2 years. Any of them could have stood as a leader.
No, as in terms of the vetting not being able to get done because there wasn't enough time. It's absolute hogwash. Every candidate that was standing at the time could have been and should have been vetted as we were promised.
Okay. So, of the candidates that are likely to win, do you guys think, and Beverley, do you think that there's a good chance that the candidate that wins will be acceptable in terms of party unity? And do you think that they will not be an establishment shill? And do you think that they will genuinely work for what UKIP was set up to do, i.e. push for Brexit?
It all depends which candidate wins.
Yeah, I think the majority of the candidates want to come out of Brexit. I think, except for one. One is mainly on removing Muslims from the country. I think that all the rest are Brexit first before anything else.
But there's a certain candidate that said they're quite supportive of the transitional situation.
Yes,
Aren't they?
yes, yes.
Well, Henry Bolton did on the show yesterday.
That's right, he did.
Which surprised me, I have to say. I liked Henry Bolton. I think he's a nice bloke. I honestly do.
Everybody does. Everybody likes him. I think he is a nice bloke. It's just that his ideas are not what UKIP are all about.
Well, I was surprised to hear.
Do not want to transition.
I was surprised to hear him say what he did. But on the other hand, having said that, there is an argument to say that maybe let me play devil's advocate here. We're all wrong here, talking right now. Actually, a transitional deal does make sense from the point of view of securing the short and mid-term future of our country and those of our neighbour countries. Is there not a good argument to say that's the case,
What
Mark?
planet are you coming from?
The transitional time is now. It was 2 years from when she took out that thing in March. So March 2017 to March 2019. That's 2 years. She's out of order. And I'm sorry, we hope and pray that whoever is a backbenchers or whatever that are Brexiteers, that they bring her down. Sooner the better.
You're not quite right there, Beverley. The transitional period doesn't
piped
happen.
up there, didn't she? She piped up.
It doesn't.
Yes,
it
I
doesn't.
can get quite angry or not.
It doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen until a deal's been agreed, of which there is no chance of a deal being agreed at the moment because
then we walk away. Then we walk away. At the end of the day,
then they come running to us.
On the 23rd of June last year, we should have come out on the 24th of June. End of.
And I would rather us walk away than being held to ransom. But what you've also got to appreciate that if we do that, it is going to be a lot harder than if we are able to leave.
What's going to be harder, Mark? What's going to be harder?
If we leave without a deal.
There's going to be some
cards. We hold the ace cards. They do not.
We do.
They
but
do
nonetheless, yeah, but Beverly,
if we pulled out,
we want to be
Olly,
nice too.
Olly, yeah, but Olly, if we pulled out,
we
they would
don't want
come back
antagonism.
in a week or two, coming asking to negotiate whether they can get this deal or that deal. Why should we be?
We're not the ones being antagonistic, Olly. They're the ones being antagonistic, not us.
Yeah, you're right.
So
they are being arsy in the negotiations.
Yes.
I think you're right. I think that's true. Yeah.
We've been tied to the EU now for over 45 years.
Illegally.
Yes, and their laws are deeply
Beverly
set
sounds
in.
impatient.
There's so many treaties and everything that we are working to. If we are to leave straight away, then obviously we're not going to be able to use European law, which I'd rather us not use anyway.
True.
Yes.
So we cannot just physically walk away because it would make things a lot harder.
Oh.
Well, Chris, you say that. I'm not sure it will. And I'll tell you why.
Oh, that was Mark, not me.
Sorry, Mark. Sorry.
I agree with Beverly. We should have been.
I agree with Beverly.
I've got to say, Mark, I don't think I can agree with you on this one.
Beverly's speaking for what all we feel like right now. We need to run
away
right now.
Yes.
We do need to walk rather than be held to ransom. But what I'm saying is, if we do that, it is going to be a lot harder for us than what it is if we can strike a good deal with the EU.
Mark, how is it going to be harder?
The EU aren't interested in a good deal with us at the moment.
Okay, hold on
I
a
know
second.
they're not, but we're not set up to leave.
Let me introduce
What do you mean set up to leave?
We weren't even involved.
Sorry.
We weren't legally in there in the first place.
No, that's immaterial, Beverly. What I'm trying to figure out now is why would it be hard to leave? Why are we not set up? Set up for what? People who actually export products from this country will carry on exporting products from this country to whichever country they wish, whether it's in the EU or outside the EU, if the customer wants it. It is simple business economics. If I'm selling a blooming carrot to so-and-so in China, they will carry on buying it, whether we are in the EU or not. Mate. I know, I like my carrots.
So what law is this country going to run to then? It won't be EU law, and most judges currently won't be able to remember old British law. So what law will we operate to?
Last week it was taken back, our laws were taken back last week.
Have you got any turnips?
British law.
Well, we're still under EU law. Nothing's changed with the law.
Okay, look, we've got Carl joined in. Yeah, we've got Carl Pearson, Dean Pearson, who's from north of the border up in the Scotland way, and we've had so many problems with Graeme, and so Carl is kindly representing the Scots on his behalf now.
Carl,
what did you think? What did you think?
I'm representing the Scottish Leave voters.
Don't do it.
God bless you, man. You're a UKIP guy, aren't you? A young UKIP guy. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And you're in Scotland. I bet you don't get many friends.
Mr. Billy Nomad.
You do get a few odd looks when you tell them. And people are very surprised, but it's a fight worth fighting for. So,
what did you think of what Terry May said today?
I was expecting it, to be honest. I knew it was coming. She's been a Remainer from the start, and she's not interested in a deal as far as I can see. Or if she is, she doesn't have a clear plan set out for it. Her cabinet's all over the place. Boris Johnson was clapping her today, which I thought was pretty ironic.
Yeah, I did.
It was abysmal, to be honest. She sold us right down the river.
I love Canny Scots, and I wondered where they've all gone and hidden.
Believe me, we do exist. There is over a million Leave voters in Scotland, and I think a lot of people seem to forget that, especially the media. They portray us all.
Carl, please tell me, please educate us, put us right from our brainwashing. What is the feeling in Scotland with regards to the Union, with regards to the EU, with regards to what happened today? What is your perception of that? I really, really, really am fascinated to hear what you've got to say.
I'm going to try and come from a non-partisan view here, the view of my father, who's actually voted SNP all his life, but is completely against Scottish independence, but he was for devolution, so it's a completely different stance from me again. We have pretty heated debates in the House, as you can imagine, but he voted to remain in the United Kingdom and to remain in the European Union as well. I don't think there was enough information, and I couldn't sway him, unfortunately. But saying that, he wants us to leave now, and if there was another vote, he would vote 100%. He wants the democratic voice heard. He wants the people's voice heard. He understands big change needs to happen.
And he wants that to be heard in terms of the national level, in terms of
definitely
the union,
he thinks,
or he wants it to be heard on fantastic. That's beautiful.
I think people need to understand that we voted as the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. We didn't vote as Scotland, England, Ireland and Wales.
That's right.
It wasn't a Scottish independence referendum. It was completely different. It was on a different level. It was on a different scale.
What is your media? Because the media, I know that the Scottish media is slightly different. You've got BBC Scotland and all the rest of it. It's very hard, I suppose, for either of us to judge what's going on the other side of the border, unless you
the media here is absolutely.
Tell me about that.
I don't know where to even start. The first time I ever done a BBC interview was for BBC 3, and they basically told me when they arrived and they interviewed me at my local, they basically says, we only want to hear what your views are on immigration, and I was like, well, that's not going to happen. So they ended up interviewing me for 20 minutes, and I thought, oh, that's great, maybe they'll put maybe a 10-minute clip in. No, the clip was about 2 minutes, completely focused on the section on immigration, edited to say that I didn't want any immigrants coming into the country, which is completely taken out of context.
What was that for, out of interest? What?
It was BBC Three. It was during the election
BBC
campaign.
Choice, as it was, wasn't it? BBC Choice.
No, it was definitely BBC Three. It was on Facebook, though. It wasn't on their television. It was just on their Facebook. The video is still active. I think you can go up and see it.
But okay, but nonetheless, so you think that actually, because something that I haven't been absolutely certain, because I haven't been like around Scotland to ask the folks, but it did strike me that the disparity between what happened in the Scottish referendum and then what happened in the EU referendum, and then what happened with the general election was with the SNP losing so much support. That particularly that suggested to me that actually the Scots,
this is why I think Scotland is becoming more fertile ground for like-minded UKIP thinking minds. I genuinely do.
Chris, there's a cue for you.
No, that's not only happening in Scotland. Yesterday, I signed nine new people up.
I think the last election was different. It was a fight between Corbyn and May. Unfortunately, Paul couldn't.
Because they both promised Brexit.
On voters, exactly, because the Conservatives basically just stole the manifesto as a and talking about Paul, it's so difficult because I know how much of a difficult position he must have been in. He had so much to live up to as well. It's a hard one, but I'm going off subject, sorry.
I think what we need to do now at the moment is, while we're still trying to strike a deal with the EU, we need to be preparing to walk away, because we are not prepared to walk away at the moment. We need to make sure everything is in plan, ready, so we can push that button just to walk away. But all the time that we're trying to strike deals with the EU at the moment, it is actually working in our favour. Poland, Hungary are now turning against the EU.
They are. Even Poland, Macron, particularly, big deal there.
Up to Eastern Europe's always had their run-ins with the EU, though, haven't they?
But it's getting more intense, and Poland is looking particularly.
Even Macron saying that we cannot sustain this amount of immigration now, and we must secure our borders.
That's right.
Well,
it is working in our favour.
They're all talking, no action. It's the same rhetoric from every single politician nowadays. We need people in office that are actually going to take a stand.
We need people in office who've got a backbone. Unfortunately, none of the politicians at the moment have.
But this won't happen until we get UKIP elected.
Exactly.
And even with that, it's got to be the right one that's elected, otherwise UKIP won't go anywhere either.
No.
There was just an article.
Mark.
Yep.
Mark, sorry, mate. What was it? Sorry, you said something there at the beginning of what you started to say, and it made me think. What was it you said? Could you just remind me what you said there, the beginning of what you just said, before you got into Macron?
Yeah, we need to keep trying to make the deal with the EU. At the same time, we need to be getting everything behind the scenes ready to push the button. So,
yes, okay, thank you. Okay, you just jogged my memory. I couldn't remember what it was. I thought of something and I couldn't remember what it was. Right, okay. My point: the civil service is the problem here. The civil service is so Europhilic that they do not want to prepare for example, WTO rules. They haven't. I mean, for crying out loud, how can there be no preparation for no deal? But there is no preparation for no deal, apparently, according to our government. And therefore, presumably, our civil service is doing absolutely sweet, and it's a Billy Bonus edition. Fuck all. Yeah, fuck all.
Fanny Adams,
sweet Fanny Adams. Yeah, sweet Fanny Adams. I mean, what is the deal with our civil service? That is just incredible. Please.
On the 23rd of June last year, they assumed that we would be staying in. So there was no plan, was there? for coming out.
I think
at all.
The trouble with the civil servants is that they just do as they're told by obviously by the government, and they will not do anything unless they're told to otherwise. They need to be a bit more free thinking on this, but also at the same time they possibly haven't got the power to start making these changes.
Don't be silly. There's no such thing as free thinking anymore. It's all paperwork.
No, exactly, and there's probably too many of them anyway.
It's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know whether they do free thinking.
I don't know about numbers,
secret societies or something.
So thin nowadays.
Probably not.
But secret handshakes and corridors and brown paper bags and all that sort of thing.
I don't know. I mean, geez, I'll tell you what. Okay, I mean, we could get into that. Actually, here we need Graeme Sutherland to talk about this link between these elites and the secret societies. But I will just say one clue so far as that's concerned for folks. Check out House of Cards, the last series. I think it's so it's series 6, is it? Or no, that was Game of Thrones. I think it's 5 with House of Cards. It's hard to keep up with Netflix these days, isn't it? But I think it was episode 5 or 6, and they actually show the episode of House of Cards. That thing with Kevin Spacey, whatever, supposed to be quite a dubious character according to some folks online. I've got no idea whatsoever. It's all allegedly, by the way. That episode was concentrated in a mock-up of Bohemian Grove. Bohemian Grove is where a bunch of elites around the world get together in kind of like the Redwoods type area of Oregon, that sort of type area, just in the middle of nowhere, basically, in the States, and they worship an owl. They worship an owl. They worship an owl, and this is on record. Alex Jones snuck in there with a camera. It was awesome. Check it out on YouTube. It's very, very funny. I don't entirely love Alex Jones. Yeah, okay, but I also do respect him in some ways. And the fact that he snuck into this thing and got this footage, unless it's a complete fraud, I don't think it is, because I've heard about it from other sources as well. I thought it was fantastic, and it's actually exposed. It's like they say. My mate Piers would say they show you. They don't know, everything is hidden in plain sight. And House of Cards Series 5, Episode 5 or 6, whatever it was, actually basically was the whole episode revolved around them being in this set which resembled Bohemian Grove, where these elites, yes, they are heavily involved in a secret society, whether it's for personal gain or whatever, it's another matter. But the fact is that it's secret, it's behind closed doors, and we don't get the minutes.
Yeah.
What we need to do?
Like that.
Maybe you should use Freedom of Information Act and get them.
Olly, can you hear me?
Oh, Graeme,
hello, Graeme.
Are there?
Yeah, that's what you're talking about is Molly.
You're talking about the owl, aren't you?
That,
your audio, sir. Your audio is awful.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Graeme. Blimey.
Keeps breaking up, doesn't it?
There's a perfect chance here for UKIP. We need to unite behind the new leader, depending on...
No matter who it is, in my opinion.
No, not no matter who it is, because there's already been talk of how go under a certain
the membership will
candidate and
won't let it go down the wrong way.
In rules and etc. and people that would be allowed to join. So no, definitely not under.
Talking about in terms of Anne-Marie Waters wanting to lift the ban on men.
Not mentioning any names, but there's always been too much not mentioning any membership.
Mark,
with the members, there's always been too much not in any membership. With the members, there's always been too much not in any membership. With the members, there's always.
Oh, sorry, everybody. Sorry, that was my fault.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
No, Carl, it wasn't your fault. I thought it was you, and it was me. And I apologise. I was looping everything because I was trying to do something. I do apologise, everybody. Mark, I think you were making a point which I couldn't hear because I was looping it.
Yeah, Mark, continue, please.
Yeah, no.
I'll go into it in a minute.
There's always been a problem within UKIP where. And it's what makes UKIP good as well. The membership is so diverse, which is a good thing, but it is also a bad thing. And we've got to start overcoming that. There's too many people that attack the party, that attack other members on social media. It's absolutely disgusting, and it needs to stop.
I agree that we need to clamp down on things like this, but at the same time, I agree that people can make silly decisions and join into groups like Brit First or other whatever group. Not just them; it could be any other group that UKIP bans members from joining after they've been part of one of those organisations. But I think that many people might join these organisations not realising and then not wanting to be involved in it, and then maybe join UKIP later on in life. And I think they should definitely have the opportunity to.
Yeah, you're definitely right there, mate. I mean, that's one of the things that I would have looked to have changed. I wouldn't have relaxed the rules, but what I would have seen would.
No, that is hogwash. That is hogwash. The Constitution says that if you've been a member of a specific party, not that you've been a member of a group on Facebook. No, that is not.
No, I've never said a group on Facebook.
No.
If you've been a member of a specific organisation, and Brit First is a specific organisation, they also have a Facebook page, but they are an organisation.
So
you can actually go to it and join to it, but that doesn't mean that you can't join UKIP.
Before you join UKIP in the vetting process, it asks you if you've been a member of these organisations. So it does. Yes, if you've been a member, I'm not talking about
not a member of a group.
No, if you've been a member of the organisation.
That's correct.
So what I would propose is at the NEC meetings, if there was the possibility of someone wanting to join that had been a member of a proscribed group, but they had the backing of other members within the party, branch officials, etc., they should be open to an interview process to see if they are worthy. I mean, there's a prime example within my branch, a gentleman called John. Now, he was a member. He let his membership lapse around the time when the rule changed, just because he's extremely busy. I mean, this guy is a very intelligent person. He travels around the world. He helps set up parliamentary systems. So, his input into UKIP would be absolutely amazing when he has the time to do it. But obviously, he let his membership lapse. And the new rule came in, and he wasn't allowed to rejoin because he had been a member of the National Front for a year in 1972, I think it was.
This is why I think things should be took by a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, totally agree. And that's something that I would have liked to have seen brought in with immediate effect. We're not just talking interview. They would only be welcome if it was if they had the backing of other trusted UKIP members, and there's various vettings that was also carried out.
I would agree, though. They would need to have back. I wouldn't see any reason not to. Why they wouldn't have backing if they were eligible to join.
You know what, guys? I'm gonna wrap this up in about 10 minutes, I think. Yeah, because I'll tell you why. I'm getting some grief from
Yeah, I've already had.
Wife. Yeah, that's it.
I'm already at that.
What can I tell you? I'll tell you what. You know what? Anyway, yes. So, but I do wonder about. Surely, in fact, I mean, we got to be protesting. We need to be more visual now. We need to be.
Yes, I agree.
Should would we not? I was asking this question to Graeme more earlier. We were discussing this point. Should we be cramming the mall? Should we be trying to get a whole bunch of people to protest to the Queen?
Mm. Well, it's like
that was his
It's certainly an idea.
It was actually Stephen Long's suggestion a few shows ago, and it was I thought a cracking suggestion. To me, it made it struck a chord that I thought would be more powerful than petitioning. Because I was thinking, let's get it and hang outside in Westminster Square. But you know
when
what?
the head of government fails you, you need to go to head of state.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Mm.
That's it.
Are you going to come? Are you going to come down and join us tomorrow, Olly?
No, I can't. I'm in a different country, mate. I'm in a different country. But I'll tell you what, though, I will, and I know that, and I've been thinking about that, and I know that there will be a time I am expecting, and I have been expecting a time when I would be coming across just to set up a tent in some street in London, along with a lot of other people. I think it will get to that. I think it will get to that. No. You'll be with me, Lisa. We'll be intense on the Mall.
Oh, I'll be up there.
Lisa, that's too far away from the action.
Fulham Palace Road is too far away from the action, darling. We're going to have to be down the Mall.
Listen, you can get a bike and you can put your credit card in there. You get £2.50 for the day. Dock it every half hour. You can get all around London in an hour.
Oh.
I'll tell you what I will do there, because Mark, you did hit a chord there yourself, because I what you just mentioned, I feel guilty about that. I do feel guilty. I'm not just at the end of to pop down and join Graeme Moore outside the High Court on Monday on the Strand in London. But what I would like to do, and what I would like Daily Brexit to be able to offer, is to cover all of these events. And so anybody that does watch this, or that knows of anybody that would go to these events, if they have a smartphone which has a Skype application on it,
Mark is quite good at that. Mark is quite good at that.
That's all we need. That's all we need. That's all I need to give me a live feed, and then to chuck it out there. And so anyway, but Mark, you do hear chord, mate, because I feel we now have to protest, and we have to be visual, very visual now.
Proactive.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be perfectly.
Olly, sorry, you can speak to Mark and ask him to link via your Skype to go directly live on your show.
Mark, you could do that, mate.
Like he is now.
Could you do that?
I could possibly, but I'm going to be hosting most of the events, so
cool. Well, in that case, can I
do.
Well, that's brilliant. In that case, I don't know. Maybe I'll just nick your footage or something. I mean, basically, we just need to get this out every possible which way we can, and we need to.
Surely somebody can hold a mobile phone.
Media. It won't be covered by the media.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't think I would be able to make it, but things have changed, and I am able to make it. It has come at a cost of me buying a new car, but there we go.
Really?
That's dedication.
Well, Chris, mate, if you're going to be, you're going to be there on the Strand on Monday.
No, I'm not going to be there. It's a bit far for me.
No, sorry, Mark, you're going to be there at the Strand on Monday.
No, not Monday. I'm going to London tomorrow for the last day of Silence March.
So, okay, yes, you mentioned that in the comments. I've got no idea what that is.
So it's a group of people that have come together and arranged a march to speak against basically the horrors of Islam, the Islamification of Britain, FGM, Sharia courts, Sharia councils, Sharia law, grooming gangs. It is really to do with the threat of Islam within a nation.
Okay. And how many people are you expecting for that?
People were saying it could be as high as 1,000, but I've not really been involved with it because I never thought that I was able to make it. It's only been a recent development that I needed to get involved because I'm lending the equipment for them to be able to do it. But
right, okay.
Obviously, now made myself available.
So maybe now we're getting to the stage that you've got to choose your protests very carefully. It's a bit like choosing your UKIP candidate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But are you free tomorrow then? If I was able to patch into you.
No, I'm not tomorrow. I'm not.
Oh,
no, I'm not.
Typical.
But I am on Monday. I'm not tomorrow, Mark. I'm going to be eating pie out with friends. Actually, it's somebody's birthday, and I'm already booked. Pardon?
You'd have to speak to Graeme then. Maybe he can get someone to hold a phone for you.
I have asked him, and I've asked one or two other folks as well. And I will try and find some people. I mean, this, I think, is a good example of where I look around from the limited networking, because I'm very new to social media. And I see various disparate groups in this arena generally. And it seems to me that they need to pull together. And so, for example, we need to choose our poison. Like, for example, is it going to be Brexit as the priority? Is it going to be like this Muslim question, this Islamist question, or is it going to be a mix or whatever? But somehow we need to concentrate our resources to really push the message home of
Brexit has to be the main thing, though, I think, at the minute.
Well,
the other will follow.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's hence the name of this show. I totally agree with that. We need to pull together. We need Chris. Chris Baksa. You're the networking guy. We need to pull together our groups, our various different groups around this arena.
Well, we share all the Canterbury's groups, don't we?
Yeah. There's all these new groups starting up with 500 people and think they're going somewhere, and it's all wrong. Whether we have our disagreements or not, we should all be sticking together.
Yeah.
And increasing the membership to one party, and once they're in Parliament, then people can start splitting off and going wherever they like because of one policy they don't agree upon. And that's generally what the problem is. One policy.
What's everyone's thoughts on the Dragons and Graeme's case? Because obviously there's a great deal of very decent people that are involved in this, and I'm actually fearful that they've been fed some bum information from which has come from the corrupt elite, and this is another one of their sick little games just to make us think. Make us think that we've.
I also thought the same, Mark. But listening to Graeme, he definitely convincing. And if he has court cases, is it next week? I will see what happens from them. And apparently, he's coming back on the show next week, isn't he?
Yeah, but the trouble is it's based on the Magna Carta. Now, the Magna Carta was dissolved when the Bill of Rights was produced.
Yeah, we know there's only three in there. There's only three.
And turned into, obviously, British law. So, that is redundant. And the three parts of the Magna Carta which still exist are not related to what Graeme's talking about, unfortunately.
That's right.
I think
we've said all that. Yeah.
Well,
right.
I think, Mark, I think that's a really, really important. I personally, I think that's a really, really important point you just brought up, because personally, the God's honest truth is I don't know. I do not know.
Oh, I don't know either.
My feelings about Graeme and what he says are this, and so I'm going on record with this for the first time here. I think Graeme is a top geezer. I really do. I do not, frankly, have the intelligence I don't have the experience, the expertise to know what the deal is. I do know that he has thoroughly researched his staff and has knowledge in things that I'd never heard about. Practically every other sentence that he spouts, which makes me frankly quite shocked when I interview him as well. But it's incredible. But I do want to get to the bottom of it, and I think a lot of people do, because if there's any truth to it, it is awesomely wonderful. However,
this is why I'm saying
I am hearing contrary views as well, and I'm wary of that, and I want to try and get to the bottom of it. But it's very difficult. It's like, for example, it's a massive subject. People are expected almost to know about climate change and things like that. I don't know how many ologies you would need to know to understand climate change, for example. And so that's my answer is I don't really know what's going on with the climate. And how on earth would you expect me to be qualified for that? In Canada, they're talking about incriminating people who deny climate change. Now, it's just ridiculous. It's the same deal, by the way, with the Jewish deal and the Holocaust, or the numbers involved in the Holocaust. All sorts of things. All sorts of
Canada's gone crazy just now.
But anyway, that's my point. With regard to Graeme, my point is that he's very enthusiastic. He is clearly very knowledgeable in a lot of stuff. I would like to hear an alternative legal arguments as well. But what he says, personally, it really excites me. And frankly, I hope he's right.
The corrupt elite
you could get an alternative. Sorry, Mark, you know the guy, Marty. You could possibly get him to come on this show. He opposes everything that Graeme has to say, especially on common law. Apparently, he's doing his law degree. And he has never heard half the stuff that Graeme says. So he could be one chap that you could actually get on the show. And we could.
Who's that, Chris? Who's that?
Marty Kane.
Marty Kane actually wants to come on the show.
Marty
now, look,
McCain.
that's an issue, because those two.
I'm just asking Mark if you could invite him. No, it's not an issue. If you can have opposing debates.
Chris, I'll tell you what, you're on the cusp here, man. I did invite Marty. I did not know that he even knew. I invited Marty because I'm interested in DDIP, this political sort of thing that he's been setting up, which is about democracy. I was interested in that. It turns out that he does not get on with Graeme. I'm not going to go into
get on with anybody.
Hold on, whoa! I'm not going to go into any further detail there because actually, for legal reasons, I cannot. And it wouldn't be fair either on anybody. But yes, I am interested to hear what Marty has to say as well. I'm interested to hear what anybody has to say, basically. But I so far as Graeme is concerned, I don't know, Mark. I don't know. What do you reckon, Carl? What do you reckon? I know that you were watching the show.
On Graeme?
Yeah. And common law.
I don't know enough about what Graeme talks about to comment some of the things that come out of his mouth that I would like to believe are true, but I can't see justifiable evidence apart from what he's sent me himself in Messenger when I've had little contact with him. I've not spoken to him enough to know. I've been on and off his live streams a few times, and I think he's a very nice man, and he does seem to know what he's talking about, and he's definitely got a lot of people rallied behind him and really hyped up about whatever he is talking about.
Yeah, he has.
Then
again, so have the Catholics.
Because they're hijacking UKIP live streams and things like that, and I think a lot of them are along the same lines as UKIP, if not already UKIP or previous UKIP members / voters. Yes. So it would be nice to see, as I think when he said before, these kind of smaller groups that all kind of believe in the same thing, the true patriots, all to come together and craft the party into the shape that the people want it in order to be the right government for the people and hopefully eventually be that government.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'd love to be proved wrong on this, but as I say, I fear that this isn't going to get us anywhere, and I think it's just a deterrent which has been set up by the corrupt elite. It's just one of their little games, the same with funding these far-right groups.
In what way do you think it's been set up, Mark?
It's just what the corrupt elite do. They look at every opportunity to
what you
play
think
games
dropped
with us.
Like a little seed.
I don't think
we are just pawns on a chessboard to them, and they like to.
Do
mix
you
up
really
their
think they go into that kind of really, really local kind of politics on Facebook live streams of a live stream that gets less than 100 views per time. It's, well, sometimes more. I'm not 100% sure. But surely they would be more interested in the bigger parties going after them rather than little small movements.
Graeme is a genuine guy, sort of person.
Oh yes, yeah,
definitely. I agree with that.
I think there may be one possibility where he may be wrong. I think the 1989 Lisbon Treaty took away those laws. They were given away, and I don't think they will stand today. But we will listen to see what it says in court next week, and we'll find out.
Agreed. But you know, this.
I think even that a case has been made out. This is a bit of a revelation, and I'm surprised it's not been in media sources.
No, that's right.
Likely, this should be everywhere, in my opinion. When Gina Miller made her case, it was all over the place.
Yeah, but because Gina Miller's for Remain. They don't want anybody. They don't want any news at all.
Here she goes.
Even at that, we do have pro leave media sites out there. We should be informing them of this and getting them to share it.
I don't care.
Exactly, but that just makes me think even more that it's a setup, and you know, with what you said, Carl, why would they target a small group? Well, look how many small groups have succeeded to go on to do big things. I mean, look at UKIP when it first started and what we've achieved. Look at Hitler, for God's sake.
He was funded by the Bush Patriot, wasn't he? Prescott, Hitler, right? Don't know if you know that. Anyway, just
I read the story. Surely there's hundreds of live streams like this of different patriots on each side of the political spectrum, left and right, even the centre. I'm sure on extremes and not extremes, having these streams every day with hundreds of followers. Do you really think they hire people to go on and monitor every single one of these streams?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree.
The troll.
Yeah, but it's all part of the game. I mean, you know,
I believe it may be took and used for later evidence, or they could store it. But I don't see how they would have the time or the manpower to watch hundreds of thousands of hours a day of live streams.
Well, then,
I suppose it could be sparked by certain words or certain beliefs, as you say.
Definitely.
But they've had time to watch me because they've banned me.
Well, exactly. I wouldn't put in it.
You're a nasty person, Lizzie.
They are watching me, and I ain't nobody special, and I got a ban off them.
Lovely.
I would even go as far to say that they are now responsible for a lot of the weather conditions that we are seeing, because if you think back to 10, 20 years ago across America, and all these groups that were tornado hunting, where have all these groups got their money? Where have they been able to fund themselves for all that time to chase these tornadoes, which they've got,
They've been getting donations from the Clinton Foundation.
Brilliant information from, which is now basically told them how these events work and how they can create them themselves.
They didn't get any money from the Clinton Foundation. I made that up.
It would not surprise me, to be honest with you.
That's the same story as being fed down the road to buy electric motor cars. Who on earth can afford an electric motor car? Not to buy it. Buying it is reasonable. To keep it running when electricity is getting shorter and shorter, more expensive, how are we going to fill these damn cars to go 10 miles down the road to the shop?
It's not even that. I wouldn't invest. I'll have a new tax out in 5 years.
What I would just say in response to David Clark's comment, Marty McCain has known John Rhys Evans for many, many years, and actually he left after the last leadership where he didn't get away, and a group of people that were loyal to John left and started the DIP, including Hayden.
Mark, read out the comment, mate. Read out the comment.
What impresses me with the very knowledgeable Graeme nearly left UKIP to go with the DDIP and this group that broke away.
I'm glad John never left. I think he's a great asset to the party. In every sense.
Yep.
And I strongly suspect that if he doesn't get elected, that he will leave the party.
Yeah, I hope that's not true.
Whether it's DDIP or whether it's with Aaron Banks, I don't know.
A new party, yeah. It'll be a new party, Mark.
Well, it's going to be a big week next week, isn't it?
Yeah.
It sure is.
Anyway, Olly, I'm going because you did say 10 minutes ago we were quick. I've got something to do.
Yeah, no, that's right. I think it's that time. You know, I just close with a few comments of some of the folks. Oh no, I can't be bothered. No, basically, yes, David Clark. Yes, basically, David Clark's just been fully some cracking points all night. We are but a business park for the globalists.
He's a good guy.
The EU is only part of the picture. The EU is only part of the picture. Absolutely. I tell you what, David Clark, it's lovely to meet you. Some of the comments you've made tonight, I would love to have you on the show sometime, mate. We can discuss a few things.
I'm asked when you're welcome.
Superb. And Leslie Fisher, read the letter to Ted Heath that proves treasonous act, that proves the treasonous act of taking us into the EU in the first place. And she has left a link which I will give you now. It's denouncethedeception.co.uk letter to MPs. And she's put that on in the comments as well. And
I think we can all read your comments.
My MP's ignored me for about 3 weeks in a row now. So
let's not forget these.
Go on, Carl. What did you say? Sorry, mate?
Pardon? No, I'm just saying my MP's ignored me for 3 weeks now or something like that. So no sign of any.
Having a shower.
Rochdale and Haywood MPs, when Rochdale and Haywood were both for leave, both them MPs voted against the bill, the last bill. So they were not representing their constituents, were they?
The worst thing about my MP is he's actually the SNP's immigration spokesman. So.
Oh right.
Yeah.
No chance.
No.
It's just worth mentioning while we're talking about old Teddy, though, that obviously there is
a bother with an immigration spokesman in the SNP.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's pretty much
just... Okay, fine. Sorry, go on, Mark.
That there is a current investigation going on against him for numerous accounts of abuse of children.
Oh yeah, well, we knew that. We knew Ted Heath. We knew that years ago.
Ted Heath, yeah.
Years ago, yeah. It was obvious.
I thought we had a nice chat here. I did. I thought that was nice, and Beverley got a bit excited. I know that. I thought that was lovely. And so,
bye, Olly.
Yes, indeed.
And everybody else. Bye.
Lisa.
Good night, darlings. Good night. God bless.
Yeah. I hope as many as possible can come tomorrow.
They're all there.
Okay.
It was
I hope as many people come tomorrow.
Piers, I recorded something he said, and I've never played it.
Bye, Liz. Bye, Liz. Bye.
It was quite dull what Piers had to say. Anyway.
Bye, Lizzie.
It didn't matter.
Bye, darling.
I'm sure he won't mind.
Bye.
Yeah. Another quiet news week. Oh. Beverley Taylor-King, Lisa Mcpherson, Christopher, Michael Baksa, it's not a roll call, girl. Mark Childs, Carl Dean Pearson joined me, and Graeme Sutherland tried, but failed. But we love it. Piers was here in spirit. It's now the weekend officially, and I think we should go to bed.
Yep, absolutely.
Night night, everybody.
See you later. Take care, everybody. God bless.
Bye. Night.
Hey, really nice to meet you, Cole. Really nice to meet you, man.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Everybody.
Okay, night, Carl. Bye.
Take care, Carl.
Bye.
Cheers, Mark. Thank you. I'm chuffed that you and Chris are friends, and I predicted it would happen by the end of the week. Life's too short. Oh, I need to turn this bloody thing off. Hold on. Don't say anything. Don't libel anybody, people. Hold on. Okay, ciao.